we didn't obviously talk about him because it wasn't our game, but David Silva, 10 years playing in the Premier League. Now, obviously, City do have another competition to think about in August, so he's not quite done with the Citizens, but it is his final Premier League game today. It was a standing ovation from whoever was in the stadium, the journalists, Pep, the backroom staff, for such a loyal servant of the club. You would have played against David Silva. So, I mean, where does he rank amongst players that you've stacked up against, and how good is he in person, up close and personal?
Yeah, I was on Google before trying to find a picture of me playing against him. I need to put something on social media for him. I did find one, and he's got the ball, I haven't. But yeah, no, what a servant, what a signing. It's a shame to see him go. He's still got so much more to give. You know, there was still a part of me that thought, is he going to sign another year? And it looks like he's not, but an absolute amazing player. And, you know, you can't get the ball off him, and his vision, his technique. He's been absolutely brilliant for Man City, and it's sad, like I said, it's sad to see him go. But I think for other players, it'll be sad in the Premier League. They'll say it's sad to see him go, but I think they'll also happy that you don't have to play against him again.
I can imagine. But, I mean, when you're up against him, like, how hard is it to mark him? How hard is it to stop him doing something with the ball?
His spatial awareness of the people around him, it's just so good. He's always got eyes in the back of his head. You try and close him down on one side, he moves the ball to the other side. He knows before he's even got the ball what he's going to do, and they're the top players. His weight of pass for me is fantastic. But, and I can't talk anymore of him. His weight of pass, he scores goals. Look what he's doing now. All of a sudden he's taking free kicks. So why has he not been doing that for 10 years? He's putting them in the top corner. But no, I'd say he's got everything other than probably a right foot, but I don't think he needs one.
You've also obviously gone up against other Premier League greats. Eden Hazard is one that immediately pops to my mind. Now, at times, particularly towards the end of his time at Chelsea, it looked like he was carrying the team almost on his own. It's not a burden which Silva has truly had because they've had so many good players in that squad. Even now, you have De Bruyne, you have Aguero, whoever it might be, to find an assist or goal. But when you compare a Silva and a Hazard, who is harder to play against?
Well, for me personally, obviously playing at right back, I wasn't always directly playing against David Silva, obviously, because he would be normally in the centre of midfield. So for me, obviously, you know, marking Hazard on, you know, when he played on the left wing, cutting in on his right foot, it was so difficult. He's got his low sense of gravity, he can go both ways. So for me, obviously, personally playing against him, it's obviously Hazard. But as I said, 9 times out of 10. That's who I would be up against. So I can't really talk in terms of from a centre mid's point of view. I've only obviously just from a point of view where if I am at right back and he is at centre mid, I know that if my positioning isn't good, he's going to find that channel in between me and my centre back, because that's the class that he's got. So it's a different way of marking him. It's me against Hazard 1v1. Whereas if David Silva gets the ball, I know that he'll find the perfect through ball to the person I'm playing against, or marking, sorry. But
it shows, Gary, also Silva's versatility. I was reading an interview with Julian Lescott, who obviously played with him at Manchester City, talking about how Silva was initially on the left side of the midfield, and then one day in pre-season he just went into the centre and he just dominated the game. I think it was against Inter, and they won 3-0. And after that, I mean, you could put him anywhere and he'll just be, as Lescott called him, Merlin on the ball.
Yeah, I think he just understands the game. It's as simple as that. Understanding it, of course, is one thing, but then actually being, you know, sharp of mind and movement, and appreciation of what's going on around you is the next bit. I always remember looking back many years ago, I used to go out to Holland and watch the Dutch football, and you know, the players like Jari Litmanen, who would play for Ajax 1 week as a central defender and another week as a right midfielder. I personally think that David Silva, if he played in the middle of a back four, I think he would play very well. Okay, he might get sort of out-muscle with aerial balls, for example. But so much of the modern game, anyway, I think he could play literally as a central defender. I truly do, because it's about reading the game and understanding the game and being in control of the ball and situations around you. Would you agree, Danny, or not?
Yeah, I was literally just about to say, do you think Phil Foden is the man to replace him, or do you think they need to go out and sign someone? Because they've got similar attributes, haven't they? Both left-footed, but you know, we all want. He's obviously English, and we want him to be a success for Man City in England. But I just wondered whether you think they need to sign someone to replace him, or do you think Phil Foden steps up?
Well, you know, Phil Foden isn't yet at the level of David Silva, that's for sure. Can he get there? It will be a hell of an achievement if he does, but I think he's well on his way, and if he continues to develop. So I personally think that Manchester City will strengthen. They will sign more players in the transfer window for sure. They won't sign another David Silva because there's not another one out there. So it would be a strengthening of the squad that they would sign. And I think we'll see Phil Foden pretty much play a full season. I think Phil Foden will probably play as many games next season, Danny, as David Silva has played this season. I don't see any reason why that can't happen.
Your take, Danny?
I agree.
You agree?
Yeah, I hope that Phil Foden does get more games. I think he's had a great spell since Project Restart, scoring goals, getting assists. We've seen him playing on the left, seen him playing on the right. Obviously, I think we all know he wants to play in the centre of the park. So hopefully next season we will get to see him play more in the position where we want to see him, because you know, if you look at England and going forward, we've got some amazing talent coming through. And we could a real chance of winning a major trophy with England with the talent that I see coming through. They just need to be playing regular for the clubs.